Welcome back to AI X Trends, the show where we cut through the headlines, spot patterns across industries, and translate them into real, hands-on strategies for creators like you. I'm Chris, your guide through the chaos of AI-powered creativity. Folks, this week the story that stopped me in my tracks came from everywhere. Gaming studios are paying $840K to secure generative AI talent. Hollywood is experimenting with fully AI-generated actors. And in music, labels are negotiating AI licensing deals that could rewrite the rules of royalties and creative control. So what's happening? Across gaming, music, and visuals, AI is no longer just a tool, it's a collaborator, a disruptor, and sometimes a competitor. So today, we're going to break down all the trends you need to know, figure out what they mean for you and your work, and show you exactly how to experiment, adapt, and innovate for and with AI, no matter what your creative lane is. By the end of this episode, you'll have actionable takeaways, concrete, hands-on experiments, and a new framework for thinking about AI, not as a threat, but as a creative superpower. So let's dive in.
All the signs and traces go, you might find that.
Our first trend is AI as the new creative currency. So Netflix just posted a director of generative AI games role for $430 to $840K a year. Meanwhile, studios are laying off developers, and music labels are offering licensing deals to monetize AI training on their catalogs. And in visuals, entire AI actors like Tilly Norwood, completely AI generated, are entering productions. So what's the common thread? AI skills are becoming the currency of the creative world. Not just the technical chops, but the ability to translate your artistry into AI-augmented workflows. So studios and labels are essentially saying, show me you can harness your AI creativity, and we'll pay you top dollar. So across industries, the value of human creativity is being reframed through an AI lens, yet it is still human creativity. So what is the implication for you as an artist and a creator? One, AI fluency plus creative intuition is going to be a premium skill set, meaning if you are an artist and you can take the time to understand the tools that we talk about here, prepare you for, you're going to have a huge leg up in the industry, or even if you're an indie artist, just for yourself getting forward. Secondly, a traditional skill set might still be relevant, but only if paired with AI collaboration. So remember, the world is changing, and instead of letting AI cut you out, get to know AI, work with AI. Add to yourself with AI. Think of it as a co-pilot. It's going to handle your grunt work, and you're going to focus on the high-value creative decisions that the people really want you for. So it's a beautiful thing if you look at it the right way. What are your actionable takeaways that you can do today? One, upskill in AI tools that are relevant to your field. Unity AI toolkits, Adobe Firefly, AI music composition platforms like Suno and Udio, ones that we talk about on our other programs, AIX Music, AIX Gaming, and AIX Visuals. So if you are one of those, join us on those shows as well, because we dive into the specifics. You're going to want to showcase AI-aware projects in your portfolio to stand out, meaning don't pretend like it doesn't exist. You got to show people what you know, especially if you're looking to work in the industry. Now, if you're looking to brand yourself personally, and completely in contrast to AI, that's a fine and acceptable brand as well. But present it that way, understand what you're getting into, understand your competition. Lastly, combine creativity with technical fluency for your maximum leverage. I still do recommend that you should understand and use them. I don't think you should be a doomer. I don't think you should knee-jerk hate AI. I think you need to understand it. It's going to help you, and unless you can really leverage that one idea of we don't do anything AI, it's going to be tough to compete in a lot of places. So in your mind, if you could delegate one part of your workflow to AI, what would it be? I'd love to hear that in the comments. And also, how do you feel about studios and labels paying top dollar for AI fluency while those traditional roles shrink? Is that more important to you, or is the engagement of new creative thought and tools more important to you? So I'd love for you guys to take a hands-on experiment. I'd love you to pick one repetitive task in your workflow, level design, mastering a track, asset generation, and prototype it by doing it with AI. Note the time that was saved, write down any insights that you gained, see if it was more of a hassle than you previously were used to, and let me know in the comments. Send out a message. I'd love to chat with you guys about it. All right. Our next segment is going to deal with ethics, IP, and creative autonomy. Big headline this week was Nintendo reportedly lobbying against the concept of generative AI in protecting IP. Additionally, Hollywood has been debating whether AI actors are ethical at all, and music labels like Warner are negotiating who's going to own AI-generated music and if they should sell their libraries. So across industries, AI is triggering a major reckoning over rights and control. Reddit threads and forums are buzzing with the debates. When AI can replicate or generate your work, what does ownership even mean? That's going to be the most interesting question to watch. So it is not just corporate drama, though there's been a lot of it, but that's really going to end up shaking out a lot of the art world, unfortunately or fortunately. But these decisions do affect you directly if you're a creator. So a restrictive platform could slow innovation in general, could limit access to you, and force smaller creators to work under more constrained conditions. Meanwhile, lax rules might risk exploitation or devalue human creativity. So those are important balancing acts to get across, which is why we keep watching this stuff, because the legal things are developing slowly across time. So for you as an artist and a creator, what are the direct implications? One, awareness of AI ethics and legal frameworks is now part of the professional creator career. So you're going to have to know what tools mean what, because we have not laid it all out. Hopefully in the future, we'll have a much clearer way of using and understanding AI, the ethics and the use cases legally as well, so that we don't have to worry that our products later are going to be deemed copyright infringement, whatever it may be, based on the platform. Ethical AI use is going to protect your reputation and client trust. So again, I think bigger studios are having trouble using AI publicly because they can afford people. But if you are a small creator and are authentic and tell people and label it, I think they will be understanding, except for the hardcore hate fans. But again, it has to do with your brand, what kind of a maker you are. Balance experimentation with the respect for your original work. Your audience is going to notice authenticity. So you want to have it enhance who you are and what you do and give you the kind of tools that you want to use, but it has to be you through and through. Now, actionable takeaways for the week. 1, track AI policy changes in your field. You can do that by following us here. We do that for gaming, music, and visual arts, which is film, photography, and anything else. So check the one you like, subscribe, and follow for all those updates. 2, learn licensing basics and ethical guidelines for AI-generated work. Of course, this is going to be different for every platform, every type of creator, and even depending on cases that are still open and pending or being brought. So everything is up in the air. That's why weekly updates are the most important thing you can do in this area. Remember to keep your creative independence by diversifying your tools and platforms, just like even in marketing. You don't want to only be on TikTok and Instagram or any of that. You want to be everywhere. You want to be telling everybody your story from every different angle and molding for that platform, understanding what the use is and what the benefits and negatives can be. So I'd love to hear your comments. Would you guys experiment, or have you been freely with AI experimenting if it is risking legal disputes, or would you play it safe? What are you doing right now? Because we're kind of already in that area. How are you guys balancing inspiration versus imitation when using AI? Are you finding that things are too derivative? Do you feel that it's not getting your ideas correctly? So, to that end, let's try a hands-on experiment if you guys want to take until next week. I'd love it if you guys chose a piece of your existing work, whether that's a song, an asset you've created, a visual piece, a film, and generate a derivative version of it with AI. Reflect on whether the AI output feels authentic to you and your style, and how you might ethically integrate it. You don't have to do it, but just the practice of doing it might open up some ideas. Try remixing cross-domain AI outputs. For example, generate some visual assets that are inspired by a piece of music that you may have made, or make some music off of the visual that you have made. See what ideas emerge. See what kind of new opening ideas these things give you. The experimentation is fun. It's not going to hurt anybody. You don't got to make it public. Just mess with it. Third trend: platform economics and hybrid revenue models. So this might feel a little bit boring for people, but it's again a thing as a creator in this space you really want to try to understand, at least at some level. So subscriptions, microtransactions, and AI-driven efficiency are really reshaping value and how creators are getting value, or giving value and getting value financially or whatever else from their fans and followers. So Microsoft Game Pass is a good example. It was a big debate thing here in the week. I don't know if you've kept your pass or if you've given it away. But the thing that came out from that was that Game Pass apparently cost Microsoft $300 million in lost revenue because they went with a subscription model. So that's an internal number of theirs. Similarly, music labels are exploring now AI royalties, while visual platforms are experimenting with AI-powered subscription assets. So across a bunch of the different industries in the creative arts, the economics of creation are changing as well. Since output is getting faster, cheaper, and is expected to be at scale very soon, AI is reducing production time, but it's also shifting revenue expectations. So imagine you're building a game or recording a track or filming a scene with AI. You're getting faster iterations and more experiments, but every iteration has to justify its business value. So platforms are increasingly dictating what worth actually means, as far as subscription, as far as holding the viewer. Where is the line between payoff and trying to capture viewers? And it's an endless, ongoing battle between the top guys now. For you as an artist and a creator, what are the direct implications? So creators are going to need to align AI-enhanced productivity with sustainable revenue models. So as we see OpenAI doing, they're throwing all kinds of money at the wall just to get the viewer, just to get the customer, because they view that the long-term benefit of that is greater. If they can outpush Facebook or Google and come to the top, all that payoff will be worth it on the back end. Efficiency gains can backfire if platforms begin to undervalue human input. So if you're gaining efficiency and all the platforms that we use to show off on end up not caring about you, what's the efficiency for? Lastly, strategic experimentation. Use AI to explore high-risk creative ideas that would have otherwise been cost prohibitive. So you can do a lot of tests here, and then maybe one of them you want to spend money on. But before you dive into a crazy idea, maybe test the market. But there's an argument to be made there that testing the market kills the art. So that's a balancing act you're going to have to take a look at. Leave a comment on that topic if you have strong feelings. Actionable takeaways for the week. 1. Experiment with subscription-friendly formats or hybrid models. Now, if you're a creator that has a business in this arena, I'd love to understand what your thoughts are on the subscription-based model versus one-by-one payout. I'd love to see how you guys are building around that. Secondly, use AI to reduce your cost or something that you would have never used because of cost, but do not compromise the creative vision. The creative vision must be number one. The tools will get you there. Thirdly, you're going to want to monitor the platform trends to anticipate shifts in what audiences are actually valuing. So we're going to help you do that here. But again, it's going to be not only the efficiency side, but how culture is perceiving these things and how you're presenting it to them. So question to you guys, love a comment if you could. Would you price AI-assisted content differently than you would something that you made fully with your two hands? Or would you prioritize creative freedom or predictable platform revenue? Which one seems more important to you? Two questions that are, unfortunately or fortunately for some, bringing business and art together. But now you have a lot of things in your own hands. So until next week, I'd love to hear you do this hands-on experiment. Prototype a small-scale project, even if that's your song snippet, just one game level, a visual asset you've been working on. Prototype it with AI. Consider how might you monetize that into a subscription or a microtransaction model. What is the goal here? What is your business plan long run? What is your top peak goal for what you're doing here? And see if AI can help you understand the prototypes there. Visualize the end game, even if you're not there yet, even if you don't want to use that to get you there. It's a nice visual tool to see success in the future. Fourth trend, AI as a cross-disciplinary co-creator. This one I really like because it's not just a tool, it's a partner. We always say that, collaborator, experimenter. So, for example, in gaming, we have AI generating NPCs, music producing chords and harmonies, visuals creating fully realized scenes. So cross-disciplines trends are kind of going in the same direction. AI is moving away from your assistant to your co-creator. And the best part, I suppose, is the lessons in the cross-pollination of the whole thing. So procedural generation in games, may inspire something like a music composition workflow. AI-assisted storyboarding and visuals could inform narrative-driven game design down the line. And this is a world where experimenting in one discipline can fuel breakthroughs in another. That's why you're seeing a lot of AI creators or even just creators coming out with full scope projects. They're giving the Taylor Swift experience. You're getting the song, you're getting the book, you're getting the movie, you're getting the TV show. It's all together. And now a smaller scale person can deliver it. The importance is still going to remain in the authenticity and what the message is, because just mass content is not going to cut through if it ever did before. So what are the real implications for an artist or a creator such as yourself? I would say embrace hybrid workflows. AI is able to spark unexpected ideas if you approach it creatively. Something you might have never thought you were, you can now be. Human judgment remains the differentiator. AI is going to create options, you choose them and refine them, and ideally they should be off of something you've already had in your mind, have created at some capacity, and some input that you've given outside of the words. Again, you do it how you do it, let me know. You're also going to want to think in terms of creative ecosystems rather than just isolated projects. That's something that's always interested me. That's what the Rift Fitters is. That's what I'd love for you to guys check out. We're going to start building out stories around that world. But the concept of all sorts of an experience at once, something that I always had in my head, couldn't necessarily do by myself. So we'll see how that all goes, and I'd love for you guys to join me. We will be having a new show that's going to walk us all through the creation using tools. We're going to talk about ethics. We're going to talk about how we're doing it. We're going to talk about music and the gaming and the movies and everything else that we're going to try and play with and see what works through prototyping and else. So that's something that I'd love for you guys to try and consider, is the ecosystem effect. Now, your actionable takeaways. Number one, use AI for ideation, not just execution. Gives you a lot of thought process, lets you test ideas that may otherwise be weird or not worth your time, unless you find diamond in the rough. 2, explore cross-disciplinary projects to gain fresh perspectives. It's always interesting to get a look into somebody else's world. If you're a musician, what do you have to do with gaming? Well, jump in there. Maybe you'll see something new. Maybe you have an idea that makes sense. Maybe you do something that nobody else has ever done. That's the beauty of cross-pollination. So for what we're going to lose in some of the grunt work and the ideas we come up with, we may gain in the cross-pollination and the use of certain genres moving across where they otherwise would not have been. Number 3, treat AI as a brainstorming partner. Set constraints and then iterate. So make sure you know what your line is. Make sure your audience knows where your line is. And iterate. Keep giving them more. Keep checking. Keep throwing out ideas you love and seeing what you don't love and you do love and what the audience does. Iteration is a beautiful thing here. So it doesn't cost you a lot right now. So how might an AI workflow in music inspire your visual or game work? Or if you are a musician, how might the game work inspire your music? I'd love to see you guys kind of think over that. Maybe leave me a comment. Let me know which one of you guys are going cross-disciplinary already, or if you're thinking about it or are excited about doing it, since otherwise you may not have ever done. And secondly, I'd love to know, where do you guys draw the line between AI contribution and human originality? What really is the deciding factor that AI has gone too far in a certain piece? That line is blurry right now, so I'd love to start to get it defined by where you guys are at. So before you guys move from this topic, I'd love for you to do another hands-on experiment for each topic I give you. So if one makes sense to you, please try it out and give me a comment. So for this one, I'd like you to create a small project using AI outputs from 2 different disciplines. So for example, a game character that may have been inspired by AI-generated music visuals, and then document what surprises emerge. Let me know. Shoot me some pictures on the comments. Send me a DM. Love to see what you guys come up with. So the culmination here, what's the big picture? All right, so looking at the trends across gaming, music, and visuals, a few themes start to emerge in general in the creative arts that we can all think about going forward. AI fluency is the new premium skill, meaning combining your creativity and your technical savvy is going to boost you a lot more than just a programmer or just a musician or just a developer. That makes you useful to the industry or more useful to yourself and your own business. 2, ethics and IP are central. Protect your work while experimenting boldly, but be prepared for legal rulings that might change everything up. So keep ethics front of mind. Read those contracts, understand what IP is usable, what your IP might become, and think about that going forward. Number 3, economics are evolving. Subscriptions, royalties, AI-driven efficiency is all reshaping value. Continue to reassess how you're thinking about making money from your career. 4, cross-disciplinary thinking is powerful and very interesting and fun. Lessons from one creative lane are going to provide breakthroughs in another. I think that's an interesting thing to watch going into the future. And lastly, AI is a partner, not a replacement. I keep hammering that home. It multiplies your creative capacity, but your vision is going to remain the key differentiator as always. So your actionable takeaways for the week: upskill and experiment boldly. Stay informed on your rights, licensing, and ethical guidelines. Blend AI with human judgment and distinctive style. Track platform trends. You can do that here. And evolving economics so that you can better be suited to create in the future. Explore cross-disciplinary workflows and hybrid projects. Okay, so the big question for you is, which trend will you experiment with first and why? Will you dive into AI-enhanced workflows, explore cross-disciplinary outputs, or rethink monetization strategies? So whatever it is, you should start now, because AI isn't just shaping the future of creativity. We're at a really interesting crossroads, and we're trying to see how you're going to show up to it. So that's it for today's episode, guys, of AI X Trends. I want you to keep experimenting, stay curious, and remember, AI may accelerate your work, but your creativity is what makes you unforgettable. So as the sun is encroaching here on this video, slowly, I will end it here, and I will see you guys next week on AI X Trends. Thanks for sticking with us. Have a good one.